and thinking you were bringing molecular biology to the ghetto. Yeah, we're getting the Johnsons and the Burger Boys around the test tube in it. Thank you people who know about local gang culture. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our last speaker tonight. Give her as much love as you gave everyone else tonight. Holly Prescott.
Good evening, how are we doing? Alright, good. Lovely to see so many of you here. I'm Holly, and tonight I want to tell you a little bit about why I believe that jokes are all around us, and that all we have to do to find them is just get a few things wrong. So my story begins, well, pretty much where everything begins nowadays, on Facebook. Or as I like to call it, the blue and white directory of shite. And just before the holidays, one of my friends posted a status on Facebook, and she said, "Ooh, just testing out the gingerbread recipe for Christmas. Guinea pigs required. Open mouth smiley face." Jesus. Now I read that status, and all I could think was, who the fuck puts guinea pigs in gingerbread? Oh, that kind of guinea pig. I believe the kids nowadays say, "My bad." Anyway, soon after I made this horrendous faux pas, I can say faux pas in my accent, it's brilliant. I actually started to see a pattern emerging, and this pattern had something to do with reading things a little bit wrong, but it was funny. And fast forward a week from Guinea Pig Gingerbread Gate, and my dad came to stay with me. Bit of background information for you. My dad, bless him, is nearly 70 years old, and about as Lancastrian as the cast of Coronation Street, if you left them to marinate overnight in a vat of Lancashire hot pot and mushy peas. You get the idea. Anyway, one night I left him to his own devices. He came back and he said, Hey, I found a belting pub next to Canal in Birmingham. Italian name, what were it called? Alberoni. He'd done what I'd done. He'd seen the information that he was given on the sign, and he put it together in an unexpected way, and it was funny. Like guinea pig, gingerbread game was. And it turns out, genius must run in the family. Because what my dad and I had done without realising is, we'd actually hit upon a major theory of humour, of what actually happens inside a joke. So, we get rid of Alberoni for now. And I want to take you back now to the end of the 19th century. Oh, sorry, I've missed out a really important part. Here's the science part. So if we go back to the end of the 19th century, and I can't do glamorous, I tried. And at the end of the 19th century, a school of thought emerged called Gestalt psychology. And Gestalt psychology is very preoccupied with human perception. And what Gestalt psychologists say that we do when we perceive the world around us is that we put together individual stimuli into organised wholes. Okay, so we take individual stimuli, be they music notes, words, brushstrokes or whatever, and we put them together to make patterns. And then these patterns transcend the sum of their individual parts. So, easy example. We don't see 4 lines put together at right angles. We see a square. Okay? Yeah, we don't hear individual music notes, but we put them together to hear a melody. When Nigel Farage opens his mouth, we don't experience each word as an individual utterance, but we experience the entire thing as a torrent of meaningless drivel. you get the idea. And so we put things together to make organised wholes. We are pattern seekers. Now, what my dad and I had done with our guinea pig gingerbread and our alberoni is we'd put together the stimuli we were given, the words, the phrases, the sentences, together to make a slightly unexpected organised whole that was different from the one that we were expected to make when we read the sentence or the sign that we saw. And it was funny. And it's no surprise that this was funny, because this process is actually very close to what Gestalt psychologists argue happens inside a joke. So they say that what the setup of a joke does is it asks us to look at things from one point of view. And then what the punchline does is it inverts that point of view. Sorry, I can't not laugh, because in my form at school there was this lad called Phil Stott who had an inverted nipple. I can't say the word inverted without laughing. I'm sorry, Phil Stott, wherever you are. Sophie, you've probably interviewed him. So what the punchline of a joke does is it throws things back at us in a different organisation than what we expect from the setup. Now, I don't just want to talk about Gestalt psychology today for that reason, because what I think is that nowadays we don't necessarily need our human eyes or brains to put things together in unexpected organised wholes to create comic effect. I think today, technology does this shit for us. And technology is funny. So I want to finish by telling you a little bit about how I think Gestalt psychology can explain the mechanics of my very favourite brand of 21st century humour. The autocorrect fail. Yes. So, I'll give you an example. Autocorrect fail. I quite like buying shit on eBay. I do. Yeah, I'm wearing a dress covered in tiny parakeets. So we can probably already see that. Just before Christmas, I treated myself to a nice new pair of skates. Roller boot skates for buzzing up and down Harborne High Street on. Think of a cross between Waitrose Delivery Woman and Starlight Express. And you've got it. Yeah. But imagine my mother's consternation when she sat there at home on a Sunday evening with a P.D. James novel and a broom, and she gets a text from me. Hang on, not too much today. Just bidding for slaves on eBay. Oh, shit. Skates, not slaves. First of all, to credit to my mum, I then think, what on earth is that all about? Slanty face is quite a measured response to finding out your daughter's taken up human trafficking as well. Yeah. But secondly, look, then, autocorrect did it for me. It took the information that I gave it, put it together, and threw out an unexpected organised whole. It was simply different from what I was expecting. And we hope it was different from what my mum was expecting. And it was funny. I'll leave you with one other example, another text message. Very innocuous, this one, to my flatmate. You at the gym? Now, her response perplexed me a little bit. Because what she actually sent back to me was, yeah, been doing capybara. Now, I had to think about it, and I thought, what I think she was that she'd been doing this. Capoeira. Yeah, a non-contact Brazilian martial art popular in gyms these days. And the autocorrect version, capybara, which is in fact a giant guinea pig. Think of the ginger pictures and make out to that book.
Thank you very much, Charlie, into that insight into how I should do my job.